Hello my dear students of Standard 9th, welcome you all in today's online class. Dear students, it is time to learn biology section. We are going to discuss chapter 5th, why do we fall ill. This chapter is going on and we are running, this chapter is running under progress and we are learning a lot of contents regarding the chapter. Dear students, let us recall from previous video. Whatever you have seen in previous video, let us discuss about that. I want to discuss in brief about the previous video which you all have seen. So dear friends, in my previous video you have seen that we have discussed there a type of disease, communicable and non-communicable diseases, that is known as the infectious and non-infectious diseases. So in that way you have seen that there are some types of the agents, certain types of agents which played very important role in transmission the disease, means pathogens and vectors. We are talking about some certain types of the microorganisms which play very important role in transmission of disease, just like bacteria, virus, fungi and protozoa and worms. These are the certain types of the microorganisms which spreads the disease, spreads pathogens infection from one person to another person, means infected persons that is already suffering from any kinds of disease that is termed as associated with the infectious or non-infectious. I am talking about the infectious disease. In that case, just certain types of microorganisms, just I have mentioned bacteria, virus and other types of the microorganisms enter inside our body and spreads the same types of the disease inside our body. So dear students, today's topic is here is a 4 topic which you have to discuss in that video. That is, first is importance of categorization of infectious agents. That we are talking about the agents. Agents means which is play important role in transmission of disease, means from infected person to a healthy person, just like bacteria, virus, fungi, protozoans and worms. All these types of the agents transmit the disease from an infected person to a healthy person. So importance of categorization of infectious agents. What is the important role of the categorization? Categorization of infectious agents. Categorization is essential because categorizations means if you have categorized the agents in a certain groups, so we will be able there to make to prepare a medicine for particular disease, means antibiotics can be prepared. So because while categorization we get a group of the agents, microbial microorganisms, and on the basis of that we can provide a certain types of the medicine for particular blockage of the disease. As you know that students, when a bacteria, disease causing bacteria enters inside our body, as you know that bacteria is a unicellular organism and it has its own cellular machinery parts, and it also cellular, it has the cellular machinery operators, and it can survive inside our body and it multiplies very fast, just like bacteria and fungi and protozoans multiply very fast. But in case of the worms multiply very low. So in comparison to bacteria and virus, in the same way, dear friends, categorization means if the person is suffering from any kinds of certain bacteria, so it means the group of the bacteria which infects in different kinds of the infection. So the medicine which have been prepared for the one kinds of group, it will act for the all other groups. So that is the importance of categorization of infectious agent is mandatory. So this is the keeping the importance of categorization of infectious agents. It is important to categorize all the agents in the group. Group means all the microorganisms will come under a group, and the group means one medicine is prepared for the particular disease, just like antibiotics in case of the bacterial infection, bacterial diseases. So it will work for the all other groups which lie on that group. So it will be very helpful for that. So that is the importance of categorization of infectious agent is very important. Yes friends, next topic is here is a differences among the infectious agents. All of you know it very well that the infectious agents differ by each other. Okay, so as you know that there is a great difference between the infectious agents. As I have discussed here, dear friends, bacteria and virus. If you take an example of bacteria and virus, all of you know it very well that bacteria is a unicellular microorganisms. Bacteria is a unicellular organisms, and it has its own cellular machinery parts. Has cellular machinery operators. It means it can survive itself. It does not require any host cell. Okay. If you talk about the virus, on the other hand, virus has not its own machinery operators, not cellular operators. It cannot work because virus is considered as both living and non-living. It is an intermediate. Virus is considered as intermediate state of both living and non-living. So it is a chain. So virus has not cellular machinery operators. It works. It uses the host cell. It enters inside our body and uses the host cell for the cellular respiration. So it is the working there, and therefore viral diseases. If a person suffers from viral disease, so it will be very difficult to reduce the effect of virus. So that is the difference among the infectious agents. So as I have told you that the bacteria, fungi and protozoans multiply very fast inside our body, and it has biochemical pathways. So all types of the microorganisms have its certain types of the biochemical pathways. So if you have prepared a kind of disease to block the biochemical pathways, so biochemical pathways is blocked, then we get recover. So dear friends, while preparing the medicine, it is kept in mind the differences among the infectious agents. So just like you know that you have familiar with the antibiotics drugs. Antibiotic drugs which is given to a person who is affecting from a certain kinds of viral or bacterial diseases. So in case of the bacterial diseases, antibiotics, medicine, drugs can be affected. But in case of the if you are suffering from viral diseases, so it will be difficult because the group of virus means categorization. That is that we have talked about the importance of categorization of infectious agents. Later we are discussing about the differences among the infectious agents. So dear friends, as you know that viral diseases, antibiotics, medicine cannot work. Okay, suppose if you are suffering from common cold. Okay, so common cold diseases and the incubation period refers to the durations of a certain disease when we are able to see the symptoms. Means incubation period is associated with the symptoms duration. When a person falls ill, any other person who is going to fall ill with a certain kinds of diseases, then it has the incubation period. So incubation period, within that a person provides such symptoms. So on the basis of symptoms we get information, and we get it will be easy to provide the medicine for the particular disease on the basis of incubation period. So as you know that in incubation period we are talking about differences among the infectious agents. So infectious agents, and we are talking about the differences between the bacteria and virus. So a person suffering from bacterial diseases can be completely cured by providing antibiotics drugs. Anti means against, biotics living. So antibiotics means if a person is taking antibiotics, means we are going to block the biochemical pathways of the bacteria which is causing disease inside our body. So on the other hand, in case of the virus, virus does not share the group. Okay, तो वायरल ग्रुप से, वायरल में बहुत सारे ग्रुप आएंगे, तो वायरल डिसीज में अदर ग्रुप में इट इज वेरी डिफिकल्ट टू प्रोवाइड प्रॉपर मेडिसिन. Okay, that is why antibiotics, medicine, the drugs cannot be effective in case of the viral disease because its biochemical pathways cannot be blocked because virus uses the machinery and cellular machinery part from the host cell, and on the other hand bacteria has its own cellular machinery parts. That is why bacteria, the biochemical path of bacteria can be blocked by providing antibiotics drugs. So dear friends, we have discussed about the differences among infectious agents. That is why it is important to difference amongst the infectious agents. As you further know that the microorganisms just like viral bacteria, fungi and protozoans and other things multiplies very fast, but worms multiplies very slowly in comparison to other. So this is the very important to know the differences amongst the infectious agents. Effect of antibiotics on bacterial and virus. We are talking about the effect of antibiotics in case of the bacterial and viruses. As you know that bacteria is a unicellular organisms. Microorganisms. Bacteria is a unicellular organism. It has its own cellular and machinery parts. It means it can survive without host cell. But virus, when it enters in our body, it will start to work. That is why it uses our host cell for the machinery cellular respiration. That is why virus will be considered outside, non-living, and when it enters inside the host cell, it will be considered as the living things. That is why virus is considered as both living and non-living. It is a chain of living and non-living. So we are talking about can antibiotics will be effective in case of the viral disease? No. That question is here, no. Because antibiotics drugs can be effective in case of the bacterial, because we have categorized the bacteria in a group and we are providing a medicine for a particular group, so it will be effective in all other groups. But viruses does not share that one, because there is a differences between the biochemical pathways. So it is difficult to reduce or cure the diseases affected by virus. That is why antibiotics drugs cannot be effective in case of the viral diseases. So dear students, we have discussed about 3 topics and I hope all of you are understanding very well. I hope all of you are getting very good and your understanding skill is good and all of you are getting properly. So let us move towards the 4th topic, that is modes of disease transmission. We are talking about the modes मतलब ways, ठीक है? Modes मतलब ways. Modes means ways. Ways मतलब तरीके. कितने तरीके से modes of disease transmission. Disease transmission कितने तरीके से हो सकता है? Modes of disease transmission. The disease can be transmitted from an infected person to a healthy person by many ways. A person who is suffering from any kinds of diseases, just like viral or bacterial, so it will be the disease can be transmitted from an infected person to a healthy person by some certain types of the means. That is the known as the modes of transmission. So modes of transmission में first of all it will come direct contact. डायरेक्ट कॉन्टैक्ट का मतलब होता है सीधा संपर्क में. पहला अगर मोड्स ऑफ डिसीज ट्रांसमिशन की बात करें तो फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल दैट इज द डायरेक्ट कॉन्टैक्ट. डायरेक्ट कॉन्टैक्ट मीन्स a person who comes closer to an infected person, okay, by physically, by shaking hand or by using the food materials, by eating some direct disease like chicken pox, measles, and spread through a direct contacts, infected person. Intimate physical contact or sexual acts results in the transmission of the disease. If you talk about the AIDS, just like AIDS, this is the AIDS, and all of you know it very well. This is the disease and it spreads. What is the main virus through it? HIV virus, retrovirus, through which it spreads. what is the function and symptoms? It destroys our WBC white blood cells. That is the specific cell which act as the defense from the entering the pathogens, and it reduces the effect of the antigens, effects of the pathogens which enters inside our body. That means WBC, which plays very important role and which is known as the policeman of our body, because it protects against the entering and fighting some certain types of the bacteria which causes disease, and it makes our body healthy and fit. So if the WBC and T4 cell, if you destroy the T4 cells of WBC, so it will be difficult to maintain our body properly from illness. That is why time to time we fall ill. So that is the AIDS, that is the part of the retrovirus, and due to the result of the HIV virus, it stands for acquired immunodeficiency syndrome. Acquired immunodeficiency syndrome. So it causes what is the modes of transmission of the disease. First of all, discuss how does is HIV virus is AIDS. If you're talking about the AIDS, the HIV virus, how does HIV virus transmits from one person to another person? What are the main ways of that? मेन वेज का मतलब होता है कि आप कौन कौन से वेज हैं जिसके थ्रू HIV वायरस फैल सकता है. सो HIV वायरस स्प्रेड्स थ्रू डायरेक्ट फिजिकली कॉन्टैक्ट इन केस ऑफ द just like a sexually contact. Okay, so avoid the sexual contact, unwanted, unknown. So that is the not good for that. So in case of the transfusion of blood, just like using the needles, syringe of injection from infected persons, and then after if it is injected inside a healthy person, then healthy person will be in touch of HIV virus. That is the main reason. So avoid all these things so that we can escape from HIV virus. So first of all, HIV virus has been came to know in case 1981 in USA. First of all, first case came into USA in 1981. पहली बार 1981 में ये यूएसए में पहला केस आया था. फर्स्ट केस इन यूएसए 1981, एंड इन इंडिया 1986 तमिलनाडु. फर्स्ट केस केम इनटू इन इंडिया in 1986 in Tamil Nadu. So what are the main symptoms and signs? If you talk about the symptoms and signs, so first of all, symptoms and signs, it means a person suffering from HIV virus, it loses its weight, okay, and a recurring of fever, and time to time fever, he will be affected from fever time to time. So it will be difficult, and weight loss can be seen in case of that. So all these types of the infection, all these types of the symptoms and effects can be seen in case of the HIV virus. So HIV virus can spread through the transplant, so placenta from mothers to baby. उसके mother से by the while the feedings, okay, while the feedings of milk, child, new offsprings, young one can be also affected. So that's why avoid all these things to escape from HIV virus. So modes of disease transmissions, we are talking about modes of disease transmission. So just like that, contact with soil. So next one is contact with soil. Soil के contact से कैसे disease spreads होंगी? Let us discuss about that. We have first discussed about the physical contact, just like by taking an example of HIV virus, that is AIDS. How does contact with soil? Contact with soil. Soil के contact से कैसे फैलेगा disease, इसके बारे में discuss करते हैं. Contact with soil. Soil के contacts में, as you know that tetanus, that is found tetanus bacteria which is found inside the soil. So in case if any types of the metal which is lying inside the soil, so it is sharp and pointed, and suddenly we come in contact and our body is cuts. So due to cuts, it can be entered inside our body. So contact with soil means tetanus bacteria causing, which is found inside the soil, and it can be transmitted from our body through the cut. If the metal which is lying on the earth, and after some times the tetanus bacteria is come under contact, and if suddenly our any body parts is cut by that metals, with that metals, then the bacteria tetanus can enter inside our body. So contact with soil also is part of the transmission. Next one, through the animal's bite. Through the animal's bite. Through animal's bite. Through animal's bite. अब देखिए एनिमल्स बाइट जानवरों के काटने से कैसे फैलता है. थ्रू एनिमल्स बाइट. थ्रू एनिमल बाइट्स अगर बात करें एनिमल बाइट्स के थ्रू कैसे ऐड करेगा. थ्रू एनिमल बाइट्स देयर आर सम सर्टेन टाइप्स ऑफ द एनिमल्स जस्ट लाइक अ डॉग. ओके, डॉग एंड मंकी. इन केस ऑफ द डॉग एंड मंकी, डॉग और मंकी के केस में इनमें पाया जाता है रेबीज. ठीक है, डॉग एंड मंकी. Dog and monkey, in case of that, rabies is found. So if these types of the animals, that is the renobite, that is dog or monkey, if these types of animals attacks any healthy person and bites, due to biting of the dog and animals, rabies virus can enter in our body. That is also a part of the contact. Through animal bites, also through placenta or transmission through placenta. I have told you, through placenta disease can be transmitted from mother to her baby. That is the example of transplacental transmission. Okay, so in case of the AIDS, I have described about that. If you talk, these are the example of direct contact. Direct contact. Okay. We are talking about the direct contact. So we are talking definitely about the direct contact. So in other hand, if you talk about indirect contact, so let us discuss about indirect transmission. Indirect transmission के अभी मैं बात कर रहा था, मैं डायरेक्ट ट्रांसमिशन में बात कर रहा था. अभी मैं डिस्कस करता हूँ इनडायरेक्ट ट्रांसमिशन. इनडायरेक्ट transmission. Indirect transmission. अभी जितने एग्जाम्पल आप देख रहे थे ये सब डायरेक्ट ट्रांसमिशन के केस में थे. अब मैं बात करूंगा इनडायरेक्ट ट्रांसमिशन. इनडायरेक्ट ट्रांसमिशंस ऑफ डिसीज अकर व्हेन अ पैथोजेंस ऑफ डिसीजेस इंटर द ह्यूमन बॉडी थ्रू सम इंटरमीडिएट एजेंट्स. Intermediate agents means pathogens enter in our body with the help of the other agents that plays very important role, just like a intermediary. Intermediary means the बीच की जो intermediate stage, उन दोनों helps as a other parts. So just like take example of mosquito. Okay, housefly and mosquito plays very important role in spreading, transmitting the pathogens from a infected person to a healthy person. How does indirect transmission takes place? So there are some certain types of vectors which plays very important role in transmitting as a intermediary stage. So intermediary मतलब बीच के वो चेन बन करके वो फैलाते हैं. Just like if you talk about mosquito, there are two types of mosquito, Anopheles and Culex. Culex and Anopheles. So Culex is regarded as the male mosquito, and Anopheles is regarded as the female. So female mosquito and male mosquito. Just like Culex is the male mosquito and Anopheles is the female mosquito. So female mosquito requires a lot of nutritious material. That is why it sucks blood more in comparison to female. So in that way, it has more nutritious power, and it has more require a lot of nutrition. That is why it sucks blood from a person in large amount. That is why Anopheles, आपको पता है एनोफिलीज की वजह से आपको पता है कि ये कुछ वेक्टर्स होते हैं एनोफिलीज में। आपको जैसे क्यूलेक्स एनोफिलीज मॉस्किटो एवेक्टर मलेरिया। सो इससे आपको क्या डिसीज फैलती है? देखिए एनोफिलीज से मलेरिया, एनोफिलीज से मलेरिया स्प्रेड्स होता है। एनोफिलीज से आपका क्या स्प्रेड होता है स्टूडेंट्स? एनोफिलीज मॉस्किटो क्या स्प्रेड करता है? मलेरिया। ओके, सो मलेरिया कैन बी transmitted from Anopheles mosquito when it bites, okay, a infected person, and then after if it bites a healthy person, then the malaria pathogens can enter in our body and we get under contact of the malaria. So it will be difficult to understand that. So the pathogens means the intermediary agents which plays very important role in transmitting the disease. Through air, already all of you know it very well that air plays very important role. The pathogens of infectious disease can easily spread through the air. This occurs through the sneezing. Just we are affecting from any kinds of disease, just like a common cold, okay, influenza. So if you are sneezing and coughing, so the droplets of other droplets spreads in our surroundings with the help of air. And when we come closer to that infected persons under contact, then we will be also in contact, and while through the nose cellular respiration it enters in our body with the help of nose. Okay, so avoid the crowded area, in ventilated poorly house where you are living. So avoid all these things to escape such types of diseases. So dear students, through contaminated food also plays very important role in transmission the disease indirectly. Just like contaminated food or water supply. So water which we are using, water that should be used neat and clean. Water should be neat and clean when it supplies to our house. So we can escape all these things like that. So dear friends, today we have discussed about kinds of diseases, certain kinds of diseases, just like viral diseases, infectious diseases, and we have discussed about modes of transmission of disease by means of direct transmission or indirect transmissions. So we have discussed about that. So I hope students, all of you have understood the terms clearly. Thank you students for watching today's video.